This little canvas I created from my husband's art studio, and it's a canvas with sticker letters, with printed paper, some metal embellishments, and ribbon. This one here was created on more of a rectangular piece of canvas. It's my husband and myself. Again, it has ribbon and metal embellishments there. If you look closely, you can see the metal embellishments. And it's got a lot of chipboard on it, flourishes there. I use paint to ink the edges around. This set here, it's done with Heidi Swapp masks. I'll just zoom into the first one here. You can see the background is kind of an orangey color. And then I laid the mask over top and painted over it in a burgundy. I showed you a few samples of the scrapbook on canvas. You're going to need a stretch canvas. These are 6 by 6. You're also going to need some chipboard letters, some buttons. I'm using a Heidi Swapp mask just to demonstrate. I've got this flower one. The one I used on the project today was a star, which I will show you, but I can't find it, but I want to show you how to do the process, so I'll get started with that right now. You're also going to need some acrylic paint, some really good adhesive. I've got a 2-way glue pen here by Zig, and this red sticky strip tape, which is excellent because I found on some of the canvas art pieces I did, after a while the images kind of fell off, so it's really important that you put your paper and pictures on with the red sticky strip. I also neglected to mention that you'll need some decorative brads for this project, and you're going to need 6 of them, and they're kind of a brass type brad. So first, what you're going to do is paint the lightest color on the background of your canvas. I'm using different colors than I used for the project I'm doing, but I wanted you to be able to really see the contrast. Okay, this is almost dry, but for the sake of the video, I'll just continue on. So the next step is you're going to take your mask, I've got a flower one here, and you put it sticky side down. So you place it on your canvas where you kind of want your image and hold it down, and take your darker paint and lightly go over your mask, trying to be careful that it doesn't seep underneath. Do not paint the entire canvas at this time because you may want to put this mask somewhere else on the canvas, so you don't want to cover all the yellow up until you're completely done with all of your masking. This is how my finished canvas background turned out. We're going to do that inking process except with paint. Just going to dab it on. I'm using just the foam brush applicator, and I'm just going to lightly tap around the edges here. Okay, there. So I've inked around the edges. Now, the one that I'm doing for this particular demonstration, I used brown and blue, and my mask was a star, as I mentioned before. So we've gotten our canvas to this state. I did 3 like this. On the middle one, I pulled it out. As you can see, it has this canvas stuff. I pulled this piece forward and painted both sides of them, because this is going to eventually, when we're done, attach here and to the other side with the decorative brads. And this really nice blue and brown stripe and a contrasting polka dotted one. These letters that I'm sanding, as you can see, they have glitter all over them. So I have sanded them down to get the glitter off and to give it a shabby chic look on the rough edges. You can see the white. I'm going to take my chalk inks, and I'm going to just ink over that white edge to give it a bit of a, again, rugged look. Okay, as you can see, I've got my layouts all kind of in place, just the same as you would for a scrapbook layout. And I'm just adhering down the chipboard letters, and I'm using this Zig pen. I've completed the first canvas, so I'll show you what I did. As I mentioned before, sanded the letters, glued them down, and they are there to stay. I took the 2 pieces of contrasting paper and ran it vertically. So I'm going to go on and work on the second one. And I came across these really beautiful Maya Road brass photo corners, and they're just going to be perfect because they're the bronze, again, the same as the brads I'm using. I simply took one of the photo corners here, placed it in the corner of my photo. Oops, I got it upside down. Placed it in the corner of my photo, and took my little hammer from making memories and just pounded it on. It doesn't even need glue. It stays just by hammering. Okay, I'm just about ready to attach my photographs, but before I do, I want to show you how to attach the 3 canvases together. We've got our 3 brass brads. I've already done the first one to the second, so you can see, and the purpose of it is so that they can stand on a desktop. So you're going to take this flap here of canvas number 2, and we're going to fasten our 3 brads down the center here. You're going to need a paper piercer, and what you're going to do is take the paper piercer, poke it through, ouch, be very careful of your fingers on the other side, and poke it through a couple of times to make the hole big enough for the brad to go through. Take your brad, stick it through, and then fasten it on the back side. And do that for all 3. Here is my finished scrapping on canvas project. The first canvas was the chipboard letters glued on, added ribbon, and the printed paper. I decided to go vertical, and you can see the masking in the background there, the stars, just as grands. The second one is a picture of my first grandson, and I love the pictures I selected for these 2 because they're kind of pensive in both of their pictures. I again took the same scrap paper, but I went in the opposite direction. I used those Maya Road brads, hammered them on. And the third one, my other grandson, my youngest so far, again you can really clearly see the masking behind, and I sort of repeated the vertical printed paper on this one and the buttons going horizontally. If you peek in between, you can see where those brass brads are, and they're hinging this together so that it can stand really nicely on a tabletop. I plan on continuing on with this little photo train, I'll call it, because I have enough supplies left over, and I'm just going to pull out this flap here, attach it to the next one, so when my new grandson comes in March, I can just add his photo to these. In response to North Rose 42's question about what to do with unmatched playing cards, please don't throw them out. Last year I decided to use the jumbo ones here, not the little ones, although you can use the little ones. And I followed Emily Falconbridge on her art journal prompts, weekly prompts. So I took the cards, spent a Sunday afternoon prepping them, painting them on either side, and then just left them. And each week she would pose a question for a person to art journal. The first one was, what are you most proud of? What do you think is powerful? I thought the birth of a mother is powerful, and again journaled on the back. This went on for 52 weeks, and I was left with the most amazing art journaling. So I hope that helps give you an idea of what to do with your leftover mismatched playing cards. Thank you for joining me on this episode. And remember to email me at bcdula@gmail.com if you are interested in taking the Soothing the Soul online class. I promise you won't be disappointed. See you next time.